In life, we are all inevitably confronted by struggles, challenges, and moments of suffering. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, the stress of financial troubles, or the internal conflict we feel as we face personal growth, suffering is woven into the very fabric of existence. The teachings of Zen acknowledge this inherent nature of suffering, yet they offer a profound and transformative perspective on how to approach these inevitable moments in life. In Zen, suffering is not something to be feared or avoided, but something to be accepted, embraced, and even used as a means of spiritual growth. One of the most significant aspects of Zen thought is the understanding that suffering, when faced with the right mindset, can become a catalyst for transformation. Rather than seeing suffering as an obstacle, Zen encourages us to view it as an opportunity, a teacher that holds the potential to reveal new depths within ourselves. Just as a flower blooms through the darkness of the soil, so too can our challenges help us grow, expanding our consciousness and understanding of the world around us. Life's struggles are not random. They are part of the intricate web of existence, interwoven with every other experience we have, and as such, they cannot be separated from the natural flow of life. This is where the Zen teachings come into play. They guide us to move with life's flow, to embrace suffering without resistance, and to see how it can lead us to deeper understanding and spiritual insight. In Zen, the concept of suffering is inseparable from the teaching of impermanence, which suggests that everything in life, including our pain and struggles, is temporary. It is easy to get caught up in the intensity of suffering, to feel that it will last forever, and to become overwhelmed by it. But the Zen practice teaches us to hold our suffering lightly, to observe it without clinging to it, and to remember that it, like all things, is impermanent. This doesn't mean that we ignore or deny the pain we feel, but rather that we approach it with mindfulness and an open heart, recognizing that it is part of the constant cycle of life. Just as the seasons change, so too do our emotions, our circumstances, and the struggles we face. Through Zen practice, we learn to cultivate a mindset of equanimity, a calmness in the face of life's ups and downs. This does not imply a lack of emotional depth or the suppression of feelings, but rather the ability to remain steady and present, even amidst turmoil. The Zen practitioner is not someone who avoids pain, but someone who learns how to face it with a sense of peace and acceptance. The key here is to face struggles fully, to meet them without resistance, and to allow them to unfold as they will. Zen teaches us that resistance to suffering is the root of much of our pain. When we resist what is happening, when we try to push away our pain or deny it, we only prolong the suffering. But when we stop fighting against the natural flow of life, when we cease our attachment to how things should be, we begin to find peace. It's important to understand that this does not mean resignation or passivity. It means being fully present with what is, without trying to change it or control it. It's an active engagement with our experience, even when that experience is painful. This approach is reflected in the Zen saying, "The obstacle is the path." When we face obstacles, they are not separate from the path of spiritual growth, but are, in fact, integral to it. Struggles are not detours from the road to enlightenment, but are part of the very road itself. In this way, challenges are seen as the invitations to deepen our practice, to strengthen our mindfulness, and to increase our compassion for ourselves and others. Through this lens, our suffering becomes an opportunity to cultivate wisdom, resilience, and presence. The notion that suffering can be transformative is central to Zen thought. It is through facing our struggles that we learn the true nature of impermanence, that we come to understand that all things, our pain, Our joy, our successes, and our failures are transient. This awareness allows us to let go of attachment to outcomes, to stop trying to control the future, and to be fully present in the now. By sitting with our discomfort and leaning into the struggle, we are able to see beyond it. The struggle itself, when fully embraced, becomes a doorway to greater understanding. Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh speaks about this in his teaching on interbeing, the idea that all things are interconnected. Just as a flower depends on the soil, the sunlight, and the rain to bloom, so too do we depend on the challenges and difficulties of life to grow. Without difficulty, there would be no opportunity for growth. It is through our struggles that we develop compassion, patience, and a deeper understanding of the world and our place in it. In the same way that a seed must crack open in the darkness of the soil to grow into a beautiful flower, so too must we experience moments of discomfort, struggle, and pain to emerge as wiser, more compassionate beings. This is the paradox of suffering in Zen. It is through suffering that we find our way to greater peace and understanding. Another key teaching in Zen is the concept of mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment or attachment. When we are mindful, we are able to approach our struggles with clarity and awareness, rather than reacting out of habit or emotion. Mindfulness allows us to observe our suffering without becoming consumed by it. Instead of letting our challenges define us or determine our emotional state, we learn to respond with wisdom and compassion. This mindfulness is not about eliminating suffering. It is about changing our relationship to it. We stop seeing suffering as something to be avoided at all costs, and instead see it as a teacher that shows us where we need to grow. This shift in perspective is what allows suffering to become transformative. In Zen, we also have the concept of Wu Wei, which translates roughly to non-action or effortless action. This does not mean doing nothing, but rather acting in harmony with the natural flow of life. In moments of struggle, we often try to control or resist what is happening, thinking that if we just do more or fight harder, we will resolve the issue. But Zen teaches us that sometimes the most powerful action is non-action. By letting go of our need to control the outcome, by releasing our attachment to a specific result, we allow life to unfold as it will. This doesn't mean we are passive or indifferent. Rather, we are responsive in a way that is grounded in wisdom, compassion, and acceptance. Wu Wei invites us to approach life with the understanding that there are times when action is required, but there are also times when letting go is the wisest course. In moments of suffering, we often cling to the idea that something needs to change immediately, that we must fix the situation right now. But Zen reminds us that it is often through surrender and acceptance that true transformation occurs. As we surrender our resistance to suffering, we open ourselves to the possibility of growth and healing. We stop seeing suffering as an enemy to be fought and begin to see it as a valuable part of our journey. Life is not about avoiding suffering, but about learning to live with it in a way that is transformative. When we stop viewing challenges as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth, we shift our relationship to life itself. The flower blooms in the darkness of the soil because it is supported by the very elements that seem to be its source of struggle. Similarly, our struggles, when embraced, can become the very foundations upon which we build our resilience, our wisdom, and our compassion. Just as a flower does not resist the darkness of the soil, but grows through it, so too can we grow through our struggles. We may not always be able to control the challenges we face, but we can control how we respond to them. By facing them fully, without resistance, we allow ourselves to emerge from them, transformed, more compassionate, more resilient, and more aware of the impermanence of all things. In this way, struggles are not just obstacles on the path, but integral parts of the path itself, guiding us toward deeper understanding and spiritual growth. If this message resonates, subscribe for daily Zen reflections and guided wisdom to help you reconnect, reflect, and become fully yourself. Until then, remember, pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional,